All right, guys, we're going to get through the intro of introducing our names. We're going to get through it without saying anything wrong, okay?
Okay.
Okay, today? Can you do that, Zach?
Without me saying a different
Yes,
name that's not
Just-
actually my name?
Just say you're Zach Bandit.
Can I say I'm Oprah Winfrey?
No,
I've already done it.
because Jeremiah did that one.
That's already done.
That's already
Can I
been done.
say I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
How about we do it right this time?
Yes,
Next
man.
Next week you can do. Next
What
week
the
you can do it when Freddie is on the show.
Alright, let's just do it. Come on.
All right. This is episode 26, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're listening to the Good Stuff Podcast with CK Helms, Zach Bandit, Brian Mullins, and Jeremiah Elliott.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 26 of the Good Stuff Podcast, brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. Each and every episode of the Good Stuff Podcast is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. To find more about us, check out blindbanditproductions.com. Of course, I am CK Helms.
I'm Zach Bandit.
And I'm Jeremiah Elliott.
You sounded so upset that I made you say your name. You were like, I'm Zach Bandit.
I know, I did that on purpose.
We don't know where Ryan is. He won't answer the call, so maybe he'll show up halfway in the episode or something.
Mickey said after the storms that there's been some crazy internet stuff downtown. I wonder if it's, south of us, if there's some stuff going on after that.
Who knows? He's he lives on Cantrell, I think.
Oh, yeah, it might be then.
Yeah, who knows?
It doesn't matter. He needs to find a way.
Find a way, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Do you know the way?
All right, guys. Well, we're going to do this new thing, and it's called the opener. It's how we're going to open the show from now on.
Oh, shit, that's genius. Open the show with the opener.
With the opener. We may come up with a better name, but I just call it the opener for right now because I couldn't come up with anything fancy. And so on the opener, we're going to discuss something at the front of the show that could be a little newsworthy, but not necessarily newsworthy that we'd list it in our news section. We would have just canceled it off or whatever because it's not really news-wise, but it deserves discussion, I think, and we could really dive more into it. And also with each week, we're going to do a top 5 list based off of that opener subject. So today's, it is the Far From Home, this is Spider-Man movie that's coming out on July 2nd. The Twitter press reactions just came out yesterday. I don't know if you other two guys checked those out or not.
I looked at some, and that's why I asked to make sure that I was looking at the right thing with the anagram. Yeah,
because I said just FFH. But yeah, the Twitter press reactions were able, the people that had seen the, movie early for the press were able to give reactions yesterday on Twitter. And it all positive stuff. I didn't see anything negative about it. Really, really positive stuff. So, which I figured that was going to happen anyway. But my one thing is that I read in a few of them was how they said the post-credit scenes were the most important post-credit scenes in the history of the MCU for us to watch. And that's really what I really wanted to talk about personally. I didn't know if anyone else.
I kind of count that. I count stuff like that as a spoiler.
Right.
It's you're not spoiling the exact scene, but when someone says, "Oh man, when that twist happens," that's a spoiler that you know that a twist is coming, right. And that's kind of how I viewed that.
I get you. I guess you can see that. I completely agree with that. The way that you say it like that. It's just that I'm. Really, I guess, I don't want to argue about it being a spoiler or not, because, I think it is. But I just really wanted to talk about how, if these are the most important post-credit scenes in the history of the MCU, which we've gotten like a lot. You know, what are we? This is 23 movies, I think.
Yeah.
Today? Right, Jeremiah. 23 movies in here, and so we've seen post-credit scenes on all of them except for Endgame, and which is going to change, but we'll get to that later. And these are the most important ones. So, what could possibly happen in these post-credit scenes that could make them the most important ones? I mean, I don't know.
The only thing I could possibly think of would be, with it being a Spider-Man movie, is Spider-Verse linkage to the official, database of MCU in this current string.
Mm-hmm. So you would say that the Into the Spider-Verse cartoon movie or the animated film would be connected to the MCU?
Yeah, the fact that there is a Spider-Verse in that movie somehow gets brought up into this movie, because we saw it with the time travel aspect of, the way that they said it, of like, there are no, like, you can't go back and stop yourself from time travel, and that whole thing. What is that word I'm thinking of? Singularity? No. When you go back in time and meet yourself, it causes a paradox.
Paradox. Yeah.
And they were telling so because of that, I think they were talking about that in Endgame, and then with that movie coming out right before it, I think that it could be something involving that.
All right. So this movie we've seen in the trailers, supposedly there's multiverse, just based on the trailers. Of course, Mysterio, you don't really know until we see the movie, right?
Right.
So could the post-credit scenes, I guess, would introduce that, and it would also have to do with your Into the Spider-Verse theory. Zach, what do you think about that, as far as the post-credit scenes wise? Do you think it's a multiverse thing, or what?
I mean, I kind of hope it's a multiverse sort of thing, but I don't know. I don't feel like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just hard to. I feel like they could bring in a bunch of different Spider-Man. I don't think they would bring in old actors.
You don't think they'll bring in Toby or Andrew? Is what you're saying?
In a perfect world.
I mean, a movie like that would be kind of cool, but I just don't think it would happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure maybe if they do continue they will, of course. Tom Holland already made it slip that they're working on a third one, but I mean, if they continue on after that, I'm sure that maybe they'll do sort of Spider-Verse stuff, sort of like the animated movie.
If not that, it's what we've been talking about, that Tom Holland is going to take the crown as the next Iron Man.
Right. That could be that too. It's just that, I mean, the multiverse idea sounds whatever, and then it sounds good, and connecting it into the Spider-Verse animated movie, and it's all really what Sony's universe is part of MCU's, which would, in turn, we could make Venom movie part of just MCU too.
Yeah. That
would be cool, but I don't know how that would make it the most important post-credit scenes in all history. So then I started thinking, okay, so are we going to be seeing, which I had assumptions of this when I knew that Endgame wasn't going to have a post-credit scene. I was like, okay, well, Far From Home, which is the end of Phase 3, so we're going to this. So this is Phase 3. Now we're going into Phase 4. Are you going to see the new villain, who's the big villain? But wasn't Thanos introduced at the end of a post-credit scene?
He was.
Avengers.
Yeah, the Avengers. So wouldn't that been that was an important part of history? So what would, I just don't understand why that was just that line through me. It's like, how would this scenes be the most important thing of history?
Which makes me think that it's going to tie something from the past, because you can't say something's important to introduce the future, not knowing if it's going to be good or not.
Right. I mean, my theory, or Zach's theory, really, is that King the Conqueror is the next big MCU villain. Right? I mean, that's... Yeah, so introducing him in a post-credit scene, I just don't see how if we just get an introduction of King, how that makes it the most important in the history. That just doesn't make sense. But the Iron Man thing, I didn't think about that. But setting up a Spider-Man as the new Iron Man, that would be pretty important.
Yeah.
Because then it's passing a mantle on from Tony to Peter. What if also at the same thing? What if it also introduces an Android version of, well, not an Android version, or like a computer version, whatever, computer program version of Tony?
Like Tony becomes Jarvis, just piloting.
Basically, yeah. So like he's the AI.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
And it would go with your Spider-Man as Iron Man thing, mantle being passed on, and also we would get Robert Downey Jr. in voice form.
Yeah, he'd be back in some way, and we'd probably get him in hologram form.
In like a hologram form, which they probably won't have to pay him as much because, I mean, then it's just like they wouldn't have to pay him like that Downey money, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But no, I mean, it could go a few ways. I think that we are on track. We called most of everything at E3. I don't see why we'd start being wrong now.
Yeah. I'm just glad Ryan wasn't here for this part, I guess, because I feel the feeling that Ryan probably looked on. Ryan reads Reddit a lot, so I have a feeling that he would, because there was a Reddit post like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Of somebody that works for Disney or Marvel or whatever, and like does special effects stuff, and said basically what the post-credit scenes was, and
so then he'd announce it as a guess. No,
yeah, and he was going to say it's a guess, but the thing is that I also think that Reddit thing of Guy, I think that's also been disproven because that exact Reddit post looked exactly like a theory that someone had posted 6 months before that.
Someone going for the upvotes.
And yeah, and it was really Spider-Man related, more Spider-Man. Like I don't know if you guys want me to talk about it or not, because I read it yesterday, and I don't know if you want me to talk about it or not. But
well, since he's not here and we've disproven that it's not a guess, I don't see why not.
I mean, okay, so it sets up the Sinister Six.
Oh, okay.
But the only thing about that is I don't also see if it does happen to become true or whatever, that's it. That doesn't seem like it's history, the most important MCU history.
Right,
you know?
Right.
Like, the guy said that, the critic said that this is the most important, so if we're going off of that, setting up the Sinister Six doesn't really do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most important. Not when we've had some of the scenes that we've had.
Right. Yeah. It just doesn't make... That's more of a Spider-Man thing. That doesn't make it important to the MCU. That makes it important to the next Spider-Man movie.
Right.
And, you know, that they're going to bring in the Sinister Six, but that doesn't mean that's important to the MCU itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think the Spider-Man and the...
So can I stop you guys right there for a second?
Sure.
Did you guys see Facebook?
What do you bring it up?
Ryan just messaged us on Messenger saying, "When are we recording?"
Oh, he sure did.
Hey, there he is.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, Ryan just joined. Hey, Ryan.
Yep.
Hey.
Hey, man, we've been trying to call you for like 30 minutes now.
It never made a noise.
I've been calling since for 25 minutes now.
I got the real phone call on my phone stuff.
No, like from the Skype.
Oh,
it
hasn't made
like,
a noise.
That's weird because it said like we tried it like a bunch. Like I kept saying it on the recording. It's like, well, I'm gonna try Ryan again. Well, I'm gonna try Ryan again, and I just tried you like 2 minutes ago too in the middle of a conversation. But Ryan, we're already recording, so welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, just say hey. What's your name again?
Ryan.
Ryan, last name?
Mullins.
There you go. That's your introduction. Okay.
All right, we're gonna put a poll on our pages, and it's gonna ask you whether we should fire Ryan or not. So just go to that poll later.
I've been sitting here by my phone. Okay.
Okay, let's stop for a second. Okay, we're already in the show, so we're just going to move into it. Okay.
Okay.
So what do you think that now? I'm just going to ask you this. So a critic has said that the post-credit scenes for Far From Home is the most important post-credit scene in the history of the MCU. Out of 23 movies, this is the most important credit scene. What do you think that this post-credit scene will entail that will make it the most important hit of the history? Your opinion.
If I have to make a guess, I would say that it might be an introduction to Wolverine.
That would be interesting.
That would be.
If it was like an introduction to like the mutants in general, but Wolverine specifically.
Like the whatever the new Wolverine is, because that's how in the 90s cartoon, that's how Peter Parker, that's how Spider-Man got introduced to the X-Men and started helping them out. Is he got into a fight where Wolverine found him, thought that he was responsible for something, and Wolverine and him get into a fight.
Cool. So interesting way. That would be pretty important.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, I didn't think that was going to be your guess when I guessed what you would guess.
Yeah.
But so I'm actually pretty proud of you right now. So
that would be good because that could link Deadpool.
Yeah, so that could link everything. Would also go with the multiverse theory. Could go with the multiverse thing. So either one of those.
But definitely not Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Probably won't be Hugh Jackman, but I know Jeremiah.
I want Hugh Jackman back again, to be honest. I mean, I think we need fresh blood for
we need fresh blood.
X-Men, except for Ryan Reynolds. But
except for Ryan Reynolds. Don't get rid
of Ryan Reynolds, please.
Disney already said that Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool franchise, is the only thing being kept. So that's being kept. So, but we're gonna move past that. Good job, Ryan. Good job, man. I really like that because mine and Jeremiah's kind of bounced off each other where we thought that Spider-Man was going to take up the mantle of Iron Man in the post-credit scene, and then I thought that it would be really cool to add on to that of Tony being introduced as an AI / hologram.
I guess y'all are a little behind. They're already doing that.
Oh, they are?
They are?
Yeah. So, from what I understand, Peter Parker will find Tony Stark's glasses.
Okay.
And
in the trailer.
Yeah. And there will be interactions of messages that Tony left for Peter.
Okay, so what you're saying is that what you're saying is speculation from the movie.
Yeah, it's speculation. I mean, he's gonna find he finds his glasses, but those glasses were a user interface.
Okay, so nothing confirmed.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so let's move past that. So with the opener each week, we're gonna have a top 5 list. Okay. And this week we're going to do our top 5 Spider-Man villains. Now, I talked about with Zach a while ago. I thought maybe we should just do everybody does their number 5, and then everybody does their number 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Does that sound good to everybody? Or
okay.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll just go in order of me, Zach, Ryan, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just do the same order. We won't change it up for this. Okay. We won't take turns on this. Number 5 for me is Sandman. Flint Marko. I think he's a very sympathetic character in many ways, and I mean, for one, his power set's cool, but I mean, he's like one of the original villains from Spider-Man, and as I said, a very sympathetic character based off of personal life, and also he's teamed up, and he blurs the line between good and evil a lot too. So there's been many times that he's hooked up and teamed up with Peter and stuff like that. And I think he's even an Avenger at one point. Comics, a little small part, but and I'm not talking about Spider-Man 3 because we don't need to talk about that. But anyway, Zach?
Okay, well, my number 5 is J. Jonah Jameson.
Nice.
Because, I mean, he's not a superpowered villain, but he's always been against Spider-Man and making sure, like, trying to make the whole city hate him. And, yeah, it's pretty much, I mean, he's not your, like, when you look at Jonah Jameson, I guess most people wouldn't call him, like, a villain, but, yeah, that's just my number
That's
5.
how Matt Gargan became Scorpion, was because of J. Jonah Jameson, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. He, got him trapped in the Scorpion suit.
Mm-hmm. Ryan?
Yep, that's my 5.
Sorry,
Right.
I was yawning.
Yeah, good.
Rhino.
Rhino, yeah, another good one.
He's definitely not like up there in the tops, but he's up there in the tops, but he's definitely not number 1.
Yeah. Jeremiah?
My number 5 would be Electro, just strictly for the closest match of agility for good fights.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Good one. Cool. All right, number 4. Number 4 for me would be Kraven the Hunter. I mean, I think if anyone is a good match for Spider-Man to take him down, it's really Kraven. And I really feel like Kraven would probably be ranked higher if we had more mainstream with Kraven. You know, if we saw more of Kraven.
Mm-hmm.
The reason he's fresh in my mind is because I just got done reading this Spider-Man Hunted in the Amazing Spider-Man comic book, and so and then one of the best comic book storylines is Kraven's Last Hunt too. So Kraven's such a good character, and I think they're making a movie too. Sony is Kraven.
Yeah, they are.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Zach?
All right, so my number 4 is probably the Kingpin.
That's good.
I mean, he's always been like a really, I don't know, scary villain to me. And like he runs the whole city, and he even like in the Spider-Man No More storyline, when Spider-Man retired, Kingpin pretty much brought him back out of retirement because he was like raising crime so high that Spider-Man decided to return.
Nice. Ryan?
Probably okay. The what's his name? The I can't remember his name. The character that Michael Keaton played.
Vulture?
Yeah. So old Vulture.
Oh, like old school old man Adrian Toomes.
Like the one that you saw in the comics and the cartoons.
The one that stole like a people's life force and stuff and would become a young man again.
Yes.
It was good.
But yeah, the one that they had in this movie, Homecoming, was much different. But yeah.
Cool. Jeremiah?
My number 4 is my last few kind of blend together. Probably Black Cat is number 4.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like her skill set, and there's really good banter between them two.
Yeah, another good person who's blurred the lines between hero and villain.
Mm-hmm.
So, good. I'll kick off number 3 with Doc Ock. I mean, Doc Ock is like a huge villain, I think, for Spider-Man. Of course, Spider-Man 2 was probably like, you know, until Homecoming and stuff was like my favorite Spider-Man movie. And then
the game.
The game, he's in there. I mean, and then in the comic books, he's had even bigger storylines where he's actually took over Peter's body, and then now he's like he's in a cloned version of Peter's body, and it's really weird. But he's the superior Spider-Man. So in comics, there's so much history. I mean, he married Aunt May at one time, so he was a huge thing in the Spider-Man animated TV show original one too. So I mean, Doc Ock for sure. Sick.
So my third is probably Venom, he's more of an anti-hero, but a big villain towards Spider-Man, which he pretty much blames Parker for all his failures, and so he wants to stop at nothing to pretty much kill him.
Ryan, is there a for one? Does someone have a bird? Like,
I'm hearing it too. I don't know.
It sounds like someone has a tea kettle on boil, and it's like,
Zach, get your tea off the
turned
stove,
up
man.
All right, can we just go?
Ryan,
Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, nice.
Hobgoblin's good.
Hobgoblin is good. Such a big part of the Spider-Man animated show.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a pretty agile foe.
Yeah.
Look at that.
My number 3 is Green Goblin to keep the goblins rolling.
Just took my idea.
Of what?
And added green to it.
Yeah.
No, I like the barriers of the relationship that they share, to just that the whole backstory behind why they're villains and everything.
Yeah. All right, so I'll kick off number 2, and I cheated on number 2 because I put Venom / Carnage. Because I really feel like I put Venom, and then I was like, well, Venom's not even really more of a villain anymore. He's like a hero, anti-hero now. But I felt like Venom and Carnage kind of go.
Depends on who's wearing the suit, I guess. But...
Yeah,
I do it as a stepladder. Like, Venom is Spider-Man's enemy, and Carnage is really more Venom's enemy.
Yeah. The only reason I know they had a huge thing coming in comics in August with Carnage being everybody's enemy. But currently I know that Eddie's wearing the suit and he's being a good guy. So I mean, it's been a lot different, and so many people have worn the symbiote. But I really feel like you can't really talk about Venom unless you talk about Carnage too. So that's why I put them both hand in hand.
Yeah.
And they were both created were they both created in the Spider-Man animated series, then they came out in the comics, or was it just around the same time? Because it was the 90s, but that they were both introduced. But did they come first in the comics, then the animated series, or was the animated series in comics?
First in the comics through Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane?
Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man was the first introduction of Venom and of Carnage.
Oh, would you get a load of this guy? He's wearing a black suit and he's mean.
Okay, Zach, please go.
Number 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my number 2 would probably be the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn version. Because he killed Gwen Stacy and shit. So
He killed Gwen Stacy.
yeah, that's not cool. So
Period.
That's not cool.
Period.
you can't kill Peter's girlfriend. Come on, man.
If they quoted us from the show and put us in quotes in like books or something, it would say Norman Osborn version. He killed Gwen Stacy. Period. That's not cool. Period. Zach Bandit.
And I think like Gwen Stacy is one of the only ones who hasn't like come back in like the main canon.
That's true.
Like she's come back in multiverses. Like I don't think. Well, until they merged all the universes, though. I think, didn't they?
Gwen hasn't been merged into the real universe, I don't think, but she's about to be in the comics. But yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen, but that wasn't part of the main.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And then I know she, like in the Ultimate Universe, she does come back as a clone. But yep.
Yep. Ryan.
Michael Morbius.
Morbius, the living vampire.
He's always been that. Especially the Michael Morbius that I remember was always just, he was like a junkie. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but he had to feed, you know?
Yeah.
And Parker gets caught up in it of, well, I understand that, but you can't just go around sucking blood out of people.
There's Ryan's quote.
Are you excited about the Jared Leto movie, or?
No.
That's easy enough. Jeremiah?
My number 2, probably same. I like Venom, just because when you think of Spider-Man, you think of Venom. Or at least I do, as far as who you're going to see looking at each other on the poster head-to-head. That's my number 2. He seems like the main, in my opinion, of just who you think is going to be the big baddie when you think of Spider-Man. The end.
Definitely. Number 1 for me is Green Goblin. Because he killed Gwen Stacy, and that's not cool.
Period.
No. Period.
Period. That just ain't cool, bro.
No, I mean, like, everything. Think of anything. Name something Spider-Man. And most of the time, Green Goblin's involved in it. I mean, the first Spider-Man movie, Green Goblin, all the animated series, who's the main villain most of the time? Green Goblin. Everything led was Green Goblin. We saw a lot of Norman and Harry and stuff like this in background information, and saw, Norman became the Green Goblin, and then Harry did or whatever in the Spider-Man animated show. But I mean, everything had to do with Green Goblin. Any other Spider-Man shows that you've seen had to do with Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man, another great Spider-Man series, had to do Green Goblin, main villain, really.
Yeah.
And even in the Spider-Man PS4 game, like, Norman's there, but there's no Green Goblin. But that second sequel is going to bring Green Goblin in there.
Right.
We're getting Green Goblin in the sequel. you know what's going to happen. I just feel like Green Goblin is pretty much the Spider-Man. Like, if you ask someone, he's like the Joker to Batman. Like Joker to Batman, Green Goblin, Spider-Man. To me.
Cool.
Yes. Zach?
I mean, it was a hard choice between Green Goblin or my number 1, which is Dr. Octopus. I mean, they both know, like, Peter's identity, and Dr. Octopus, like you said, he even married Aunt May. He knows who Spider-Man is. He basically kind of, in a way, killed Peter Parker and took over his body and became the superior Spider-Man. So yeah, that's my number 1.
Ryan?
Dr. Kirk.
The Lizard. Nice. It's a good one. Was the Lizard the first Spider-Man villain that we saw in the Spider-Man animated series?
Yeah, it was, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then he was Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
Yep. And he wasn't in the Spider-Man PS4 game, was he?
Also, nobody said Mysterio yet, and I want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Oh, you want to give Mysterio honorable mention?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give Quentin Beck an honorable mention.
I feel bad for Jake Gyllenhaal right now.
Well, Mysterio was on my list, but then he just disappeared. And I was like, where did he go? It must have been a trick. Jeremiah?
I'm also with Doc Ock on my number 1, just because of the more strong emotional ties of dealing with sometimes anti-hero, most time villain, so much involved in Peter's life as well as Spider-Man's. So number 1, Doc Ock.
Nice. It's a good list, guys. Good top 5. But y'all ready to get the good stuff here? With the releases from this week. it's gonna be a big release weekend because you got plenty of toys to choose from if you want to watch a movie at the movie theaters. You can either have your toys really nice and sweet and you can cry a little bit, or you can be really scared when it comes to toys. So you get to pick because Toy Story 4 comes out and Child's Play comes out.
And then next week, Annabelle comes out.
That's next week. We're talking about this week.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. That there's a lot of toy movies coming out.
A lot of toy movie coming out. Pick your toys. But yeah, let's talk about Child's Play. So Zach, how excited are you about this one?
I mean, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm not like excited. I mean, I mostly just want to see how they do Chucky, because like in the trailer, he only talks once, and that's when he's saying goodnight, Andy, or whatever his name was, Andy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, Andy, which is the same kid in the original Toy Story. Just throwing that out there.
Whoa.
Linking.
Mind blown.
And you know, they purposely decided to release this with Toy Story because, like, if you look at the Child's Play marketing, they had some Toy Story thing. Like, there's one picture where there was like the bottom half of Slinky was just like there, and like top half was gone.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna have to look.
So I'm pretty sure that they released this purposely with Toy Story. So, but I'm trying to decide, like, what do you guys think? Should I go see Child's Play tonight, or should I go see Toy Story 4?
Well, how's your week been? That's the big thing.
How's my week been?
Yeah.
I don't know, just boring, I guess.
Okay,
Nothing
well,
happened, so.
if you've had a boring week, you might want to go see Child's Play to get the adrenaline going. But if you've had an exciting week, you might go see Toy Story just so you can kind of chill and be nostalgic.
Go see Child's Play, I guess, is what he's trying to tell you.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, but seeing both is kind of nostalgia too, so.
That's true.
This is true.
Yeah, I put a poll on my Facebook, so my Facebook friends can decide for me. But
Ooh, look at that polls.
I'm gonna decide for you, okay?
Okay.
Friends, I'm gonna decide for you.
On the poll or right here? Like right now?
Right now on this. Okay. What you
Okay.
need to do is you need to see Toy Story 2 twice. Then it'll be Toy Story.
So anyway, sometimes just shh. Right.
just
So
shh.
Your thoughts on the actual movies? Which one are you more excited about?
I have no interest in seeing Child's Play.
So are you excited about Toy Story 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said no interest in seeing Child's Play. So is there some interest in seeing Toy Story 4?
I mean, I'll probably see it on Netflix in like 3 years.
Well, you can't because it'll be on Disney Plus.
I mean, yeah, or Hulu.
It'll be on Disney Plus. The kids movies go on Disney Plus. The adult movies go to Hulu now.
Well, then it'll be that. The Disney Plus. It'll be Hulu with the Plus add-on.
Hulu Plus. Hulu Disney Plus. Or is it Disney Hulu? I don't know.
It's okay. So I never really watched any of the Chucky movies back in the day. The only one I've ever like seen is the one where Bride of Chucky, where he apparently marries Jennifer Tilly for some reason. I don't get the movie.
Oh, and turns her into a doll?
Okay, well, if that's the only one you've seen, then yeah.
Your opinion has no weight.
Moving on to...
Was Jennifer Aniston in the first one?
Who?
Hmm?
Was Jennifer Aniston in the first Child's Play movie?
I don't
The
think
young
so.
teen actress.
Was it? I thought it was Courtney Cox. If either one of them was in something, because Courtney Cox was in a movie when
Courtney
she was
Cox
a kid.
was Scream.
Jennifer Aniston was in the first Leprechaun movie,
Oh, okay, then that's what I
not
saw.
Child's Play.
You're just thinking of the wrong movie this whole time.
Oh, I'm really excited about Child's Play. I don't want to see any Leprechaun movies.
Oh, don't touch me gold. Can't wait to see Child's Play.
Hey, Leprechaun in the Hood was the best thing ever. Where that guy pulls a freaking red baseball bat out of his afro, and he's like, "Come here."
All right, let's reel it back in. Jeremiah, what do you think about these two releases?
I'm really excited for Toy Story 4. I'm going to go see it. I don't care at all about Child's Play. I love horror movies. That's just not my type of horror, I guess. I've given a few of the movies a shot, and it just didn't land with me.
Yeah.
So, Toy Story 4, woo.
You given a few of the movies a shot, so you saw Bride, Seed, and Hope, right?
Yeah, I saw all the ones when they went comedy.
Jesus Christ. Man, we're so mean to Ryan sometimes. Well, I guess I'll move on to, I don't really care about Child's Play either, but at the same time, Mark Hamill's doing the voice of Chucky, so that's kind of cool, because I like Mark Hamill. But to be for full disclosure here, my dad made me watch the first Child's Play movie when I was like 6 years old. And whenever I was a kid, for the longest freaking time, for like 8 years, I had horrible nightmares because of that movie. Because I watched it when I was like 5, 6 years old.
Wow, you're a wuss.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it. Whatever.
I saw The Haunting in theaters when I was 8. Fuck.
Well, I don't watch horror movies a lot, so I am excited about Toy Story 4 though. I just don't know. I don't know why they made it. You know, because Toy Story 3, it did things pretty good, and I don't know why they made it. And I mean, I guess more money, obviously, but it seems, I don't know, stupid that they made another one. But I'm sure it'll be cool because Keanu Reeves does the voice of that motorcycle guy.
Kaboom.
And yeah, Duke Kaboom or whatever his name is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why I'm not that interested in seeing Toy Story 4, is I felt like the story was ended, completed, and left at a good place at the end of Toy Story 3. And I mean,
Yeah, but money.
But I cry like a little bitch in the first.
You know, Toy Story 4 is making at least $1 billion, so
it's gonna beat Avatar before Endgame does.
No, not now.
Yeah, with
they're re-releasing Endgame, so
we're talking about that later. But let's move into trailers. Since we talked about the releases. And the first release trailer we're going to talk about, we're going to let Ryan talk about this first, is the Frozen 2 trailer. Ryan, did you watch the Frozen 2 trailer?
I did watch the Frozen 2 trailer.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a trailer for Frozen 2. I mean,
Wow.
wow, that's a good
Fucking deep.
analogy.
Dude, you're blowing my mind.
There's not a whole lot that can be said for it. It's really just a scene of Elsa running.
No, they released a full
falling.
trailer this past week.
Oh, well then I'm left behind.
That was a movie. Did you know? But no, they released a full trailer. I guess I'm probably the only one that watched it. But no, they released a full trailer, and apparently it's going, as I've mentioned this on a earlier podcast, that they're going to be doing having more than just Elsa with powers. They're going to have other people that are powers for each season. So,
Oh yeah, so it'll
Yes.
be their own little like mutant academy.
like basically,
What if
she like
that's
leaves.
the post-credit scene.
That's the post credit scene for Far From Home.
Elsa is an Avenger.
Oh my god.
She gives birth to Iceman.
She's Bobby's So apparently they leave, going to look for the mystery behind Elsa's powers, and then they find apparently someone can control fire, someone can control like water. Apparently I guess it's more than just seasons, because it looked like there was a giant rock monster at one point, someone that can control the wind and stuff. So I mean,
the Avatar.
I don't
find
know.
Tarzan.
Yeah, Tarzan's their brother. Maybe they'll find him. So I don't know. Should be a good movie though for kids. And people went apeshit over the first Frozen movie, so I'm sure.
I didn't watch the trailer because I don't give a fuck about Frozen. So.
Well.
I just know they're gonna have to step up the music to make it successful compared to how the first movie took over the world with one song.
Indeed, they're gonna have to do something with the music in Frozen 2, because that movie took over the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Jeremiah, did you get?
That's my. Wait, what?
That's your what?
Oh, that's my only thoughts on Frozen 2 is about the music.
Awesome. Did you catch the trailer for Epic's Pennyworth series?
I saw the link to it and I forgot to watch it.
It's okay.
It's made by Epic, so I'll probably pass.
It's Alfred Pennyworth before he even becomes a butler, so I'm gonna pass. Ryan?
Interesting.
I might give it a watch. I mean, I've given other shows at least first 2 episodes before I was like, nah, this ain't my bag, baby. But I'm gonna.
This ain't my bag, baby.
Does it show his climb from like a busboy all the way up to butler?
No, apparently, like, I don't know, MI6 or Secret Agent Man or something. I don't know.
Okay, so you remember in the Christopher Nolan Batman's, whenever he's talking about like how he did all that stuff where he caught that thief who was stealing the jewels and stuff. And
oh yeah.
So it's the story of how he was like working in the armed forces and MI6 and stuff like that.
Yeah, go for it. I enjoyed it better as an old man with a mysterious past. I don't really care to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
really
you also have to remember though, everybody thought that Gotham was going to suck.
True.
It's true, but for the first little while, it did suck.
Oh, I gotta go grab some bear. I'll be right back.
Did you have to go grab some bear?
Bear. Aspirin.
Oh, I thought you said he was gonna
suck at first.
I didn't like the first few episodes of Gotham. It took me a bit to get into it.
It was good from the beginning. All right.
Okay, man, that's weird. You're the Marvel guy. But anyways, yeah, I really know. I guess I'll probably give it a couple episodes just because, and it's on Epix. Isn't that free?
That's it's like HBO.
Oh, okay. What's that thing that's free? That's kind of like that. In the same.
I don't know.
I'm talking about Crackle, right?
Oh yeah, Crackle by Sony.
I knew there was something that was something. So Epix is like Showtime and HBO?
Yeah.
Okay. So I may not be watching it.
It's just going to be Alfred with boobs. Not with boobs, but boobs will be in the series.
Yeah, it's just another Skinamax series.
Right? That's the only reason watching it.
What is wrong with you guys?
No. I mean, I'm sure lots of things. What's wrong with you?
I just like mysterious past. I don't think every mysterious past needs to be delved into. That's
me. I'm sure they'll introduce like Catwoman's great grandma, and then they'll introduce like Joker's dad, and all this stuff, just to make it interesting.
Sure enough, he's been the butler for every Batman villain's family. That's the twist.
Wow. The butler did it. Anyways, I want to move on to the next trailer, and it just so happens it's going to start with me because I don't know anyone else that's going to actually watch the show anyway. So,
Me.
yay, cool, I love you. The trailer for Veronica Mars season 4, which is exclusive to Hulu, just came out. I'm such a huge fan of Veronica Mars, and I don't really care what people's opinions are on it or not. So I love the show. I just got my wife started watching it with me, so that way when season 4 comes out, she can watch it too. So super excited about it. She's already into it. We're almost done with season 1. I'm super excited about this 4th season. I mean, pretty much everybody's coming back for it, right, Jeremiah? I mean, I didn't see anybody that's not coming back.
Yeah, most of everyone that they could grab is coming back for sure.
I mean, her dad, fucking Wallace,
the boyfriend.
Spoiler alert.
What's dude's name? Logan. There you go. Logan. Yeah, Logan's coming back. I mean, that's really only 4 people I care about. Yeah, Wolverine. No. So I mean, that's all. Oh, and is Weevil coming back? I can't remember if he's in the trailer or not.
Is that a Pokemon?
I'm scanning through it just to check all the people's faces that they show.
Yeah. I don't know if Weevil's coming back. Anyway, these are huge characters. If you watch Veronica Mars, the show, they did 3 seasons, and then they did a movie on it, and they're doing this 8-episode limited series on Hulu. I believe July 26th. That's about the date, right, Jeremiah?
Yes.
Okay. And so Veronica Mars is running her own detective agency. Now it looks like her dad's working for her, not the other way around, which I thought was really cool.
Either that or he's
like, is he like a secretary? Because she was like, give me some coffee, and he's like, she's like, yes, ma'am, or whatever. I was like, wow, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But, so basically, they live in the town of Neptune, California, and
the biggest small town in the world.
Yes, the biggest small town in the world. And it has now become a huge destination for spring breakers. And apparently there's a serial killer on the loose, because there's like an explosion, and then there's like more explosions, people putting like strapping bombs to people and stuff. So apparently there's a serial killer who's basically wanting to shut down spring break at Neptune.
Yeah, we talked about the teaser trailer on a previous episode where we decided it was just an old man that was grumpy that property values were dropping because of all these younglings.
Yeah. But man, the trailer, the just production value is just so like awesome. Of course, it's a Hulu show, so
they got that Disney money now.
Yeah, they got the money, but it looks so good because it's like watching a movie. It looked like their movie budget, but for the show. So I'm really super excited about it. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I can't wait, because it's going to be a freaking... My big thing is Mickey's a bigger fan of Veronica Mars than I am, and next week Big Brother starts, and so I'm going to have no TV control when she's not at work. So it's going to be a nice break when that comes out to finally have something else to watch besides Big Butthole. So...
At first I was like, hey man, I almost corrected you. It was like, you said butthole, my brother, but then I was like, oh, he meant to say that.
That's what we call the show. It's time for Big Butthole. We have a very weird married sense of humor.
That's cool. I'm really glad that you both like the show. So you and your wife will be watching Veronica Mars, and me and my wife will be watching Veronica Mars. Cool stuff.
And I'll just be laying here not watching it.
Ryan will be doing the same. He's asleep, so I mean, it's all good.
I mean, I'll do that with you, Zach.
Oh, cool. You want to lay together and we'll cuddle and not watch Veronica Mars again?
Not watch Veronica Mars.
Cool. I can just see it now. Zach strokes some hair over Ryan's ear and goes, "You remember that time we didn't watch Veronica Mars?" And they're just, "Oh, that was the best."
Oh my God! Where's the open up this writer's duet screenwriting software we have? Start writing on this now.
I use Trophy.
We're gonna take that last trailer and we're gonna move right into the news, because Kristen Bell, who is in Veronica Mars, is also in the show. The thing we're gonna talk about first in news.
Dude, and are you a mall cop?
Maybe.
Because you rode that segue perfectly.
Thanks, man. I was wondering where you were going with it. I was like, mall cop. Anyways, The Good Place, which is on NBC, and they have announced that it'll be ending after season 4. And I don't know about the other two, but I know that me and Zach had a little moment of sadness together when this was announced.
Yeah, I made you watch The Good Place too, so
Thank God.
thank me.
The Good Place is a great show. It's fantastic. And if you
it's a good
don't
show.
like The Good Place, get the fork out. Listen to
The
this
fork
podcast.
out of here.
Fork off.
Fork off.
I don't know.
So Zach, what do you think about this news, man?
I mean, I'm kind of sad it's ending, but I mean, I hope that they all knew that it was ending before the announcement, so that it doesn't like end on like a cliffhanger or anything.
Well,
So
I think there's plenty of time that the fourth season hasn't even started airing yet. So I mean, even if they didn't know, I think even finding that information out now, they could rewrite the endings for it to work out.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they rewrote it, like, if they had to rewrite that part, it would just be like forced, I think.
Yeah, we'll have
Like, I don't know. But I just hope that it's a good ending.
I think with the announcement of it said it was ending. It didn't say it was canceled. So therefore, I feel like they knew ahead of time.
Yeah, that's where I am on it. Is I think this is going to be one of those shows that they're ending it at the best possible moment before you get it's ending when it needs to, so it stays a great show.
There's only so many times they can like
Reboot it.
or reboot it and fuck up and fork up.
Ryan, do you watch The Good Place?
Right?
Ryan, do you watch The Good Place? He's on mute. You're on mute.
As I was
There you
doing it, accidentally.
Do you watch The Good Place?
I don't.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, just
Mostly
making sure. Before we...
I'm not a fan of Ted Danson.
No,
You're
that's
not a fan of Ted Danson. No, you could just get the fork out of here, all right?
What a weird actor to not be a fan of.
Yeah, that is weird because it's not like he
Ted
does like
Danson is like a big lovable bear, okay?
he's a national treasure. Okay.
His
Yeah.
forehead looks like it's gonna crush somebody.
Yeah, but-
you know, that
And
he
you
used
look
to
like you're an
be on
8-year-old
shirts.
little boy, so
I mean,
I never in my life thought that this group here would be upset because I don't like Ted Danson.
I'm very upset about it. For one, he's married to Mary Steenburgen. What's her last name?
Steinberg.
Steinberg, and she's from Arkansas, from Little Rock, in fact.
So
And
yeah,
they have a condo downtown.
yeah, Arkansas represent.
Yeah, they used to shop at the store that I worked at, Terry's Finer Foods, off of Kavanaugh. Boom. What up? Anyway, moving on. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know why I marked out for Ted Danson there, but I totally did.
took that
Do you ever
bullet.
accidentally knock things off the top shelf whenever you turn corners with that giant ass forehead?
No, I don't even know anything Ted Danson's done besides this and Cheers.
Well, Ryan, are you
he-
allowed to get in the PG-13 movies?
Anyway, moving. We'll set the Ted Danson whatever aside for right now. I'm gonna move on back to this Good Place stuff. I really think that it'll probably end pretty good. I don't think either three of us will be upset by it, and it really makes sense though that it should be ending because now, just the way that season 3 ended, and was trying not to spoil it too much in case someone's listening and isn't caught up. But this 4th season, it's going to be completely different, and I don't know where else they could go from here once the season ends.
My only thoughts would be breaking the system. That's my only thought.
Knowing The Good Place the way they change it up in the middle of the season, that may happen mid-season.
Oh yeah, and then the last bit of it would be aftermath.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, because you think about it, The Good Place, mid-season usually changes.
It feels like the storyline feels like 2 short seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. And they change the stat. They kind of do what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does with their seasons. They make, it's kind of like 2 different acts.
Mm-hmm.
They always have good twists too.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's a good show. Really should watch it, even though you don't like Ted Danson run. But let's move on to that. There's no segue into this next thing because we just can't go from this to the next thing.
I've got one.
Okay.
In the Good Place, you can eat all the frozen yogurt you want. And if you love to be full of food, then you'll hate this next segment. The Hunger Games prequel book is coming out, which is set 64 years before book 1. How was that?
That's fantastic.
You're a national treasure, Jeremiah. We've used that word a couple times this episode, but I just want you to know that you're right up there.
It's just my address is on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Someday the world will know who you are, and then there will be a podcast somewhere talking about how your forehead is knocking shit over all over the place and how they don't like you.
I do have the caveman forehead. That's why I do my hair the way it is, so the wave in my hair complements my beach of a forehead.
Well, I think Zach was joking, but okay. Moving on. I don't know if anyone's read the Hunger Games books. I read all the books. I thought they were pretty good books. I mean, nothing like. I mean, they're more geared, I guess, towards a younger audience. But I haven't
read
seen
the first one.
I thought that I liked the books. I haven't seen all the movies. Like I haven't. Mockingjay was 2 parts. I haven't seen the second part, even though it's been out forever. I just never cared. I guess I don't know.
That's how I was. I went and saw part 1 in theaters, and then part 2
I saw
was
part 1 in theaters.
Part 2 was a lazy Sunday on Hulu with Mickey one day.
And I think I have part 2 on my Hulu watch list. I've never watched it. I don't know. I don't care, I guess. But I'm pretty excited about this prequel series. Most for the fact, because you said it's 64 years set before the first book. It's set during the dark days of Panem, which sees the creation of the Hunger Games. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's right after the Great War that they had, and so whenever everything's all jacked up, and then you get to see them why they create the Hunger Games as a way, like their system of checks and balances, you know.
Yeah.
So
and this was the first battle royal.
Well,
good job. It was.
Yeah.
Why has no one made a Hunger Games battle royal game yet?
That's what I've said. I'm like,
well, they tried. The culling is pretty close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a game called The Culling, and it's pretty close to at least the way that it's dealt with Hunger Games.
And a lot of the announcer and scorekeeping and stuff like that from Apex Legends is directly taken from Hunger Games.
That's true.
Huh.
They don't have like a dome that they project the deaths up on, but you do get there's banners.
Kill leader. Yeah.
There's banners that hang in the center of the arena that show like who's the kill leader, who's currently the highest ranking team, and all this other kind of stuff. They took some ideas from that, and they have an announcer, like a vocal announcer that tells you stuff.
Yeah. Suzanne Collins, who's the author of the book, the Hunger Games books, said that she's already in conversations with Lionsgate about them making a movie for this prequel book. And she hasn't even wrote the book's not even out yet.
That's the only thing that worries me, and this is just as a writer, would be I hope she's doing this to do it with her own creation and isn't gonna, Stephanie Meyer it and write a book to be a movie.
Yeah. It's gonna be. That's also, whenever hearing that is also kind of troublesome as well.
It makes you worry about the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm open to it because, like I said, I really enjoyed the 3 books that were out. So I mean, I'll probably read this book. And then
I enjoyed the movies.
Yeah. Maybe that this will, since we're in the battle royal game wise, since we just mentioned it and whatever, since that's like a huge deal right now, maybe when this book comes out, if it's made into a movie as well, like the creation of the Hunger Games, so like we would see the first Hunger Games, maybe they would make a battle royal game based off of it.
I would like a standalone game along with the book where you play through your own first Hunger Games and then drops the Battle Royale online mode to where you can import your character that you've built through the collapsing world game. I don't know. I think that'd be a cool idea.
That would be cool. Can we get with someone? Can we like write this pitch out and then just send it to a bunch of game companies and be like, we'll write the entire game.
Yeah.
I'll call Blizzard and PlayerUnknown.
Perfect.
I mean, you got PlayerUnknown on speed dial, so I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
They never answer, but I'm always calling.
We'll see.
Yeah, I got connections with George Lucas and J.J. Abrams, so
Sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I follow them on Twitter, so I mean.
yeah. So obviously we're connected, you know.
Yeah, obviously. But guys, let's move on to some other movies. So since we're talking about Hunger Games and then the movies and stuff like that, let's talk about another movie. And also, this is a movie based on a video game. So go ahead, work it all up. I know I see you all itching for this next thing to lead into something else. The Uncharted movie got a release date of December 18th. Let me finish it, damn it, before you throw it out there, okay? December 18th, 2020, we're getting an Uncharted movie. Now you can go. What? No, none of you have anything to say?
that was the goal. It was just let it fall flat for the first time in history because you expected it.
I expected it every time I expected every episode now.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I'll
guess
save
what
it for the-
movie
I'll
didn't
save it
get a
for the
release
end.
date?
Dear God.
I'll save it for the end so you can have a moment of victory.
All
For
right,
the-
Zach, you go about the Uncharted movie. What's your thoughts on it?
I go about it.
Yeah, you go first. You talk about it.
I mean, it seems like it'll be interesting. Gonna have Tom Holland in it as, I guess, young Nathan Drake. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And Bryan Cranston's in it too,
Oh yeah, Bryan
as
Cranston.
I guess Sully.
I'm assuming.
Seems like it's gonna have a pretty good cast. I've only beat the first one. I played number 2, but I haven't really beat any of the other ones. But the first one's a pretty good game, and I think that's actually the first game I played for PlayStation 3.
Interesting.
So, hell yeah.
Tom Holland's a good choice, though, I guess, for a young Nathan Drake.
Yeah, as far as the charisma level, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little too fat though.
Excuse me, have you seen his lip sync battle when he does Umbrella? He is rocking that bod.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I've never played Uncharted.
That's perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
What do you think about? So basically,
I've seen the storylines. I know what it's about. I've watched other people play it, but I myself have not.
no, yeah. Well, I mean, if you know about it, what are your thoughts on the movie itself with Tom Holland and stuff?
I am excited about it. I am especially excited to see Tom Holland in a different role than Spider-Man. Because I mean, I know he's done like lots of other movies, and I know he's actually a really good actor. I can't remember the name of that one.
He's in a pigeonhole situation.
Yes, if he doesn't start branching out and doing other films soon, he's going to be he will get put in that position of, well, he's just Spider-Man.
Right.
and
Yeah,
I
true.
don't want to see that happen to him.
Yeah, he's a young guy, young kid.
Yeah.
So
He himself is actually a very talented person. I mean, all that ballerino stuff that he did for that movie, that was him. You know, that like almost all the flips that they do in Spider-Man, that's all him. He's actually a very, very talented person. I want to see him do more than just that role, you know.
did you see the video from whenever the Spider-Man was at Disneyland and he was doing like flips and
Just
all
doing
kinds of junk?
and stuff,
And
and then
he
he just
he was taking pictures with people, and then all of a sudden he just took off his mask and it was Tom Holland.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. And it had been Tom Holland the whole time, and all these people had come up there and taken pictures with Tom Holland, and they never even knew.
yeah, they just thought it was one of the Disney people.
That's awesome.
Jeremiah, you want to?
I've always thought Uncharted was the first game I played when I switched from Xbox to my PS4. I bought the full collection and played all 4 of them and loved it. And my immediate thought was this would be the type of game that could break the bad luck streak that video game movies have. And I think that this one could be done right. And I hope it is, because the story's amazing. I'm worried that they're not even going to come close to capturing the charm of the game character Nathan Drake. But you know, I like the cast that I'm seeing so far, and I've got high hopes for Pigeon.
I wanted to throw something else out there that, like, I had actually had some really high hopes that Tom Holland would take over the Indiana Jones franchise as Indy, and I think that this is actually a better turning point for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's Nathan Drake and Indiana Jones are very similar characters. So.
And like they had talked about having Chris Pratt play the new Indy, and I immediately thought, I was like, they should actually go further younger and do a reboot of it with Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And then like literally like 2 weeks after I was thinking about that and stuff, that's whenever they made the announcement about Uncharted.
Well, my only thoughts on it are, they say that he's playing a young Nathan Drake, so is there going to be someone playing an older Nathan Drake?
Well, I think, man, I don't know. I think it's going to depend on how the movie does. I know
It
with the
always
games,
says, in anything that you read about it, it says he's playing young Nathan Drake. It says young. Like, they say it every single time. They don't say Nathan Drake. They say young Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
So
he's even on IMDb as young Nathan Drake.
Maybe what they're saying is that the movie will focus on young Nathan Drake, and it exists in the same universe as the video games.
Who knows? Maybe so. Like a prequel to the first movie, I guess.
Well, the games did a lot of that. There's a whole sequence where you play as young Nathan Drake as you learn him coming together with Sully. So I think they're taking all of those flashback scenes and using that for the first movie.
They could do that. I've only played the 4th Uncharted game because it came with my PS4 when I switched over last year. So,
they could be doing the long haul on it, that they expect Tom Holland to stay in the role of Nathan Drake for a while.
Or
are you at a construction site?
Are you vacuuming? Ryan. Press mute. On him.
So it was Ryan.
No, because it was still going. When he's on mute.
Let me mute mine and see if it's me.
Nope, it's you, Zeki.
I don't know what you guys are hearing.
There was like a loud noise, like it sounded like a vacuum cleaner.
Pretty sure it wasn't me because I didn't hear no loud noises. So
That was weird. Oh well.
Can we move on or?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Yeah, but Uncharted is getting a movie before Gears of War. There, I got one out for you.
There you go. Exciting.
And speaking of release dates, like I was saying, Gears of War still doesn't have a release date, so suck on that, Nick.
But speaking of Gears of War movie, Rod Ferguson, who is over the coalition who makes the Gears of War games, talked more about the Gears of War movie the other day and said that the Gears of War movie is set in an alternate reality from the video games. So there's still conversations about it. Dave Bautista has said that he wants to play Marcus Phoenix.
He'd be great.
Great casting. That would be like perfect. So maybe eventually we'll get some more info and then an actual release date, and then everybody can leave me alone about the Gears of War movies.
It's not going to happen because there's an alternate reality or universe where this movie gets released, but it's not this one. I mean, what happened to the Halo TV show they always talked about like years ago? That never happened.
Coming out. It's coming out on Showtime.
That was announced like 7 years ago.
At first, they were making a movie, and then it changed to a show, and they just showed something about it last year.
It wasn't going to be on Showtime though. It was going to be on their Xbox service or something, and then they changed it to Showtime.
Which is actually better to be on Showtime.
If it's taking place in an alternate reality than the Gears of War games, does that mean it could be like as different from the storyline as the Mario Brothers movie was?
Oh God, here's hoping not.
God dang, I think they were just talking about a storyline wise, as in they don't have to kill Dom off and like really. Yeah.
Everybody do the dinosaur.
Wow.
There's just gonna be a dance scene, and they're gonna be singing that song. But if they are doing that, I have ideas of people that would be amazing actors to play those super soldiers. You could definitely use a lot of
Batista is definitely the
Batista's good for Phoenix, yes, definitely. But you could bring in a lot of the big wrestlers from WWE to play those characters.
Cena, The Rock,
Steve Rogers.
I want Terry Crews to be Coltrane though.
Oh God, yes, that'd be awesome.
Well, I was thinking Titus O'Neil.
No, you need Terry Crews. Titus O'Neil's stupid.
But I definitely hope that they bring Big E Langston into this movie.
That would he could do that too.
Because he is definitely that.
He's
side.
hilarious. Yeah, and he's hilarious. I was just thinking that Titus O'Neil's not funny, so he couldn't be Coltrane. You got to be hilarious to be Coltrane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big E Langston, he just looks, his body shape looks like one of the super soldiers from Gears of War.
Mm.
Yeah. Who knows though? But I know I probably live in some false hope of a Gears of War movie ever happening, and I understand.
Just listen. It's not going to happen. It's all talk.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
So don't get my hopes up. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Let it go. Let it go.
I would like to see Josh Brolin in the movie too, if they could get him.
He could be a good Marcus dad.
Yeah. I don't remember what Marcus's dad's name was though.
It was like Dr. Phoenix. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm excited for it. I hope it works out. It'd be awesome to see.
I don't. Just like Nick, I hope it doesn't work out.
Well. Anyways, let's move on. The past several days, Marvel has been teasing a Spider-Man announcement for the past 4 days. It was a countdown and to today. And the first one that they posted was a picture of the number 4. And so people thought they were making a comic book based off of the Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire. And they were going to make a Spider-Man 4 comic, basically.
Mm.
But then the next day, then they posted an image of it, the number 3. So then we found out it was a countdown. So the countdown happened till today. And just so happened it got announced this morning. And the Marvel person's editor-in-chief or whatever said that we were not going to see this one coming. Like, it was totally oddball. And by God, did I not see this one coming. Because it's a limited Spider-Man comic written by J.J. Abrams and his son.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to draw so many lens flares into a comic book.
That's what somebody said. That's when I read a comment and said, think of all the lens flares that are going to be in this comic. I'm so excited. It's good.
How old's his son?
His son looked to be about 16 to 18.
Okay, all right.
I found out that because Zach was like, I didn't even know he had a son. He has actually 3 kids. Henry's his oldest one, and then he has a daughter, and then he has and I don't remember what her name was, and then he has another son named August. August Abrams.
August Abrams.
That sounds like a movie character. I remember August Abrams. He was a good man.
He only had this son to tease a release date of one of his movies.
Andy Dufresne was the only one to go through a sewer and come out clean on the other side.
Oh wow. I'm just really I don't know. Like I still haven't been able to process it fully because J.J. Abrams is writing a comic book. Like, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been really good at taking over storylines and putting them in a better direction.
Yeah, except that this is an entirely new, different comic book. It's a limited series. It's not him taking over a story. In fact, him and his son's co-writing it with him. And they're introducing a new Spider-Man villain. I think it was like Casadova or Castova or something like this. Something like this is the character villain's name. It said it's a hooded figure that is a danger to Peter and MJ alike. That was all basically in the description of the video from Marvel. So, it's just strange. I just did not expect this to be the announcement.
I think they needed a way to introduce a new villain, and they needed a way to do it big.
So they just chose J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not like...
Let's go!
Sorry, USA scored.
The game just started.
I know. 2 minutes and 45 seconds in.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, J.J. Abrams, he can do it.
I don't know where to go from there, Lan. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail it like that. I just...
Goal! Huge soccer fan.
Yes, very much.
Does anyone else have anything to add? Anyone else have anything to add to this, or are we good on that? Moving on.
I don't know if I really care, to be honest. Like, I don't know, but
it just makes me miss CK's Comic Week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I miss CB with CK so much. Like, I think about it every night before I go to bed. I'm like, damn, that's such a good segment.
You know, a few more insults for me, and I think you've bypassed. I was going to say that I bypassed Ryan on insults, but that's not true.
He'd still get us.
I was trying to be really nice towards Ryan there for a second, but I was like, no, that's a lie. No one's going to believe that. We insult Ryan more than anything.
Zach's not allowed to insult me this episode.
Why?
We have a special agreement.
They made an agreement while snuggling in bed together that they would.
Okay, you can't make fun of me this next episode. Okay, baby. But call me Diego. Zach understands what I mean.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's move on to the next thing. This is kind of a 2-part thing. Lost my train of thought there. It's kind of a 2-part thing, and the first part is Keanu Reeves. apparently has been talked to by Kevin Feige about playing a part in the MCU, and he's going to end up playing a part in the MCU.
I already know.
movies of
I already
Villain.
know who it is.
Oh.
No, that's already what you're going to say. Adam Warlock.
No,
I was gonna say Wolverine.
no.
Who are you going to say?
Huh? Who am
Who
I
you
going
gonna
to say?
Yeah, you said you already know who it is.
Gambit.
He
Who?
could be.
What?
He could make a
Gambit?
good Gambit.
He will be
Gambit?
playing Gambit.
You think that? Do you know that Kevin Feige has talked to Keanu Reeves? He said that ever since the beginning of the MCU, they have approached Keanu to be part of the MCU, and it just hasn't worked out. That is crazy. So think
That
of all
is
the
crazy.
roles. Think of all the roles that have happened that we could have had Keanu in.
I wonder if they approached him to be Tony Stark.
I wonder.
See, the only thing is, it's cool that he's finally getting his chance to join it, but
Yeah. I don't think that he was approached to be Tony Stark, because I'm pretty certain that Jon Favreau actually wanted Robert Downey Jr. to be an Iron Man. If I had to assume from the early part of the MCU, I bet he was approached before Mark Ruffalo to be the Hulk,
yeah,
to be Bruce Banner.
yeah.
I mean, if you take off the beard and think of like his look in Matrix, it's really similar to Ed Norton's look in The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
He's gonna play the one above all.
Who knows?
No, Keanu Reeves will actually be playing Galactus.
Keanu Reeves will probably play Keanu Reeves.
Galactus
just-
comes.
John
"You
Wick.
killed my dog.
John Wick got pulled through a portal.
If he's gonna kill my dog thing, we could do that. He could be Black Bolt from the Inhumans, and Lockjaw could be killed, and then he just like talks, and then everybody dies. He's just really mad.
Maybe the Silver Surfer.
That could be one. That could be it. If Galactus ends up being the big MCU person instead of Kang, the next big MCU, and then you would have to do Silver Surfer. He'd be good as Norman Red, I think.
Or maybe he's Johnny Flame.
Johnny Silverhand.
Or yeah, Fantastic Four.
Oh, you mean what's Johnny Storm?
Storm.
Johnny Storm.
They need Keanu Reeves to play the Thing.
He's
The
too old
Thing.
to play Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And
I honestly don't think that Keanu Reeves would be a good Adam Warlock.
I don't think he would be. Besides, I just don't see why you waste Keanu Reeves on a CGI character, though.
That's true. Yeah. With how much he's just blowing up right now.
I don't think Adam Warlock would be CGI though.
Would he not?
Because if you look at the Guardians of the Galaxy, they were all, the villains in that were all painted gold. So he would just I'm guessing
painted
the person who plays Adam Warlock would just be gold, like painted on him or whatever.
Hey, I wonder if he was also approached to be Doctor Strange.
I definitely could see that.
He would definitely make a good Doctor Strange, I think.
You know what I'm thinking though, based on John Wick and the way he looked in that Cyberpunk trailer? What if he was going to be Bucky?
Yeah, he could have been Bucky too.
I think he absolutely could have been Winter Soldier.
Think of all the people that in the MCU that he could have been.
He could have been Black Panther.
He totally could have been T'Challa. I
Or
would have been okay with
Spider-Pig or something.
I don't know. I'm pretty super excited about
Hey.
Keanu Reeves. Just having Keanu Reeves. I don't even know a guess to be what he would play.
In all seriousness, I have a very strong feeling that Keanu Reeves will be Namor the Submariner. They're gonna need a big actor name to take that role over. Namor has always had pitch black hair, and he's been a skinny, well-built guy. I think that is probably the most likely role.
If they actually bring in Namor, and I understand that we can talk about the whole basically mentioning thing. But it's those movie rights that are very complicated with Namor.
Yeah, but they also had some complicated things with bringing Spider-Man in, but they made that work.
Yes, but
They own
Namor's
they
are the
own
most
Namor.
complicated.
They own Namor for
Who
movie
knows?
rights if
But
he
that's,
is
that
in
that
another.
that is my honest guess.
What did you say, Zach? Sorry.
I was saying they own
they-
the
they-
Namor rights if he is in another movie, just like the Hulk.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he could be in Black Panther too?
Yes.
That would
It's just-
probably. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna hop on that with you, Ryan. I'm gonna hop on that with you. I'm gonna ride out the Namor with you, because I feel like Namor should be the villain. Because I've said this before. I don't know who would be the villain in Black Panther 2 that I would really care about, and so like Namor would probably be my pick. And and also goes with the whole thing where I said Keanu Reeves. I wouldn't want to waste him on like a CGI character, even a heavily make-up character. Like Adam Warlock being all gold, even if you said, I know how you said he was all gold, they're painted all gold, so he'd be painted. I feel like it's a waste of Keanu Reeves. So giving him a person role, like we get to see it's Keanu, like there's no, and I really feel like, so I'm gonna hop on that Namor track with you there.
And plus, Keanu has a name that transcends race. Like he doesn't he's somebody who's popular with all kinds of people. He not to get into racial things, but Keanu is just one of those people that's a good, wholesome person that people of all kinds like Keanu. And I think that he would be a good. You don't often see Keanu playing the bad guy. And I don't think, Namor's not a bad guy, but at the same time, you need someone who just has that name to bring in as this is the big baddie for Black Panther 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Keanu could do it.
I hope he's Polka Dot Man.
No. Do you really think he'll be the one, or whatever the one all, or whatever you said, Zach?
No, well, I saw the One Above All in a comic book once, and I was like, he kind of looks like Keanu Reeves, but that's about it. I don't even know if they're ever going to bring the One Above All into the MCU.
MCU's getting complicated right now. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, so we'll know. I guess we'll probably hear soon. Because here at San Diego Comic-Con is in July, and Marvel is supposed to be announcing a 5-year plan. Like, a really long time ago, for Black Panther and Infinity War and all those movies, we got that nice timeline of 5 years of movies, and we've reached the end of it now after Endgame. We saw that timeline. We saw all the movies coming out. We're like, oh my god, look at all these movies coming out.
Somehow I'm still alive.
Yeah, somehow we're still alive. Here we are, 2019. Never thought we'd be here. Back then it was Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. But that timeline, they're introducing another one of those timelines, showing a picture of a timeline, of 5-year timeline of their next 5 years at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So you're going to get 2020 to 2025 or 2024, I guess. How freaking super excited is that?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see, because it'll be a huge clue in on what's going on.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Zach.
Oh. So if you have to guess, like, which movies do you think they'll introduce?
Well, if you're probably gonna see. Well, we already know Black Widow's getting done. You already know that we're getting Black Panther. Shang-Chi, because they got like a short list of people that they said this week. So we're getting those movies. You're probably gonna get Doctor Strange 2 I don't know. I want to. Okay, let's just say one surprise. One surprise. Our surprise movie that we think was going to be on their top 5, because I don't want to try to guess the entire freaking thing. But because I mean, we know we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy 3, whatever like this. Let's not do that. My one surprise, I think we're going to get a Young Avengers movie. So I think we're going to get a team. You're going to probably get. I mean, so you're going to have Cassie Lang as a Stature, which is Ant-Man's daughter. I think you'll see a future version of Morgan Stark, Tony's daughter, come from the future, who in Endgame, a deleted scene from Endgame was that girl from 13 Reasons, or what's that movie? That show on Netflix?
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why. She was cast as a future version of Morgan Stark that Tony was going to see in a vision before he died, and they cut that. So I think that they could still use her and bring her. I think that you could bring her from the future, and then maybe some other kids. I can't think of any of them right now. Isn't there some other MCU kids out there?
There's
I can't. Oh,
Hawkeye's daughter.
So you're going to see, Hawkeye's daughter. And I think that we'll probably see Wiccan, which is Vision and Scarlet Witch's daughter, because from that Vision and Scarlet Witch show that's coming out. So
and
maybe
there's also the possibility of Miles Morales having a quick introduction in the new Far From Home.
Yeah, and then you could see him in that too.
Because they've already introduced Miles's uncle.
Yeah. And he mentioned he had a nephew too.
Yeah. So yeah, he mentioned he had a nephew.
Yep.
So Zach, what do you think though?
I think one of the ones that I would at least like to see is Avengers Secret Wars.
Let's see. That'd be cool.
Into the MCU, which would be a pretty cool storyline. I feel like that would be another Infinity War type deal, so I feel like it would be like the thing to finish off the next phase, maybe. But
I think that one of the hidden movies that they're going to introduce is they will be doing a Weapon X movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to focus on, doing a Weapon X, because surprisingly, Kevin Feige got caught off guard the other day and has already said that he is working on a Fantastic Four and Wolverine movie. He straight up said in Accidental Conversation, "I'm having a lot of fun working on Wolverine and Fantastic Four," and then he caught himself and stopped.
Yeah, I think. If you read more into that, what he said though, he said that he's having fun working ways to introduce those characters into the MCU.
Yes, and I think that doing a Weapon X movie where it's a introduction to Wolverine, where they could have like the final scenes of it being him being unconscious and discovered by the X-Men, I think that would be a perfect transition into the X-Men.
So you think that they'd basically, but do we need another solo Wolverine movie?
He's gonna be what's gonna carry the franchise.
I guess it's true.
And right now would be the perfect time to start focusing on the Weapon X stuff, because the government would need a way to regain control after 5 years of a ton of their people, half the world being absent. Because you have to think, society collapsed for a while in the MCU, and the government had to do something to protect itself. And I think that that's going to be the way that they introduce it, is that during the 5-year period of the snap is when the government decided to start the Weapon X program.
I just don't know how you could pick a whole movie from that that we haven't seen in any of the other 3 Wolverine or any of the X-Men movies. Like, I don't feel like there's enough content. So, like, I thought of this, and I haven't shared this with anyone yet, but I feel like a good way to introduce the X-Men, since we've already have so many other X-Men movies already, instead of doing introducing the X-Men that way, since now that they're making X-Men or Disney Plus shows that are connected to the MCU, what if they did a, like, say, 8-episode run of an X-Men show on Disney Plus, and each episode introduced a member of the X-Men, like it was like individual, like say like 7. It was like the first 7 episodes was like, and in the background there would still be a story going on where like the villain would be, you know, doing shit or whatever like that for them to all take down in the 8th episode. But so like each episode, like the first one did be about Xavier, and then like so Magneto would, I guess, would be the last, would be the person that would be doing stuff in the background the entire time. So like one episode would be just about Xavier, one episode would just be about Jean, one episode would be just about Cyclops, one episode would be just about Wolverine. And it was like, so like it would be basically these serialized or, you know, standalone episodes, but it would tell a larger story, but it would be a way to introduce each person one at a time, and then at the end they would all come together and form the X-Men.
I'm not against that idea, but I believe that the characters are known well enough that they don't need that kind of introduction.
Would be a way to introduce the MCU versions.
Yeah.
Who knows though? Jeremiah?
I mean, I could talk about what they're going to go through till I'm blue in the face.
What is one movie that you think that we'll be surprised with at the Comic-Con?
I'd be surprised after all the fighting that's been put up if they do get their hands on any kind of X-Men at all.
Yeah.
That would be the one that throws me out for a loop for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this phase isn't gonna have X-Men or Fantastic Four at all. But that's just my thought.
It's possible. I mean, they may want to give them time to die down.
And they also said that Kevin Feige had said, well, just to add on to what Zach said, that he said that he had already had plans for past Phase 3, and he wasn't changing those current plans just because they got the X-Men in Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I feel like they already had Phase 4 all mapped out for a while. So I think like not until Phase 5 maybe, or something like that. But
can you imagine Phase 5? Like, dear God.
And the Secret Wars storyline would be a great way to bring in the X-Men and Fantastic Four also.
Yeah, that could be like the end of Phase 4, is what you're saying, basically?
Yeah, right, yeah, because how the Secret Wars work with all the worlds coming together and becoming battle worlds and stuff, and that could be a way to introduce them.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, you know, that the MCU, whatever they talk about at Comic-Con, it's going to be good. And, of course, we're going to be here to let you know what's going on with whenever Comic-Con is. I'm not for sure exactly when, 2nd, 3rd week in July, something like that. I'm sure that we'll be live posting stuff as it happens, you know, live tweeting and live Facebook statusing as stuff happens, as announcements, trailers, and stuff that gets dropped. You'll see that, and then when the shows come out on every Thursday, we'll be, of course, there talking about what happens. So, plenty to look forward to. So, y'all ready to go ahead and wrap this up for the day?
Sure, man.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, next week, it's a Jeremiah-less week, and we will actually have a special 4th chair a guest, and so just wanted to go out and say that now. We're going to be bringing Mr. Freddie Lane, a friend of mine, on the show. Yeah, as you can say, he calls me his friend now, so we've become friends. Yeah, since he was on one of the earlier episode of the Good Stuff podcast. He's now doing some work with Blind Bandit Productions. Going to be doing some music for a short trailer thing that we're making and that we're not going to talk about. And he's another show that we're going to do that we're not going to be talking about right now. A web show. We're going to hopefully get him involved in that too. So he's natural. He'll fit right in with us. I told him make sure that you insult Ryan plenty. So he's ready to go for next week. So we'll have Freddie on here, and then the week after that, which is 4th of July, we're going to record ahead of time. It's going to be a special episode. We may throw some news out there, whatever, just for important stuff, because we're going to be recording ahead of time. So we won't have like all the latest news on there if we do have any news. But it's going to be our mid-year episode. Basically, what we're going to do is a mid-year review / preview for the rest of the year. So when the review part, we're going to talk about the top 5 games that we played, top 5 movies that we've seen from this year, and then whatever else I can come up with. I haven't thought of all the categories. If you have any thoughts, you can message me on the Good Stuff podcast page. Or if you guys have thoughts, message me. You three is what I'm saying. Then the preview part is we'll look forward to see what movies we're anticipating the most. Me and Zach in the 3rd episode did an entire 2019 episode, and this one we'll see how our thoughts have changed over the course of 6 months. So, and then also get Ryan into his thoughts. So, I don't know what that buzzing noise is. If no one else can hear it, I don't know.
Zach has his microphone too close to his computer speakers.
Oh, okay.
It's my fucking fan.
It's not me.
Dumbass.
Anyways, but we got 2 weeks of planned out episodes for you that are going to be coming here, and I'm excited about both of them. I'm excited about Freddie coming next week, and then excited about our mid-year episode. So it's going to be good stuff all around. I hope you like the new change that we did. This doing the opener different this episode, and then before I close up, I just wanted to tell you about all our social media pages. Facebook.com/the Good Stuff Podcast, Facebook.com/Blind Bandit Productions. Follow us on Instagram at Good Stuff Podcast, and on Twitter we're at Good Stuff for Real and BBP for Real on Twitter. That's all our social media pages. You can go like us, follow us. Make sure you leave us a review on our Facebook page. Let us know how we're doing. Listen to us on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Leave us a review on iTunes if you got the time. Let us know how we're doing. As I said, let us know what we can improve on and all that good junk. I want to thank you so much for listening. Does anyone else have any other closing thoughts?
Nope.
Cool.
I like turtle.
That's good. We're going to let Jeremiah get to his soccer game, and we will see you next Thursday. Remember, #good stuff.